Let's expand on this discussion. I'm joined now by General Secretary of the National Association of School Governing Bodies, Matakanye, and Marketing Manager at Netcare, Gonsalves, to really expand on this topic. A very good morning to you both. Thank you so much for coming in studio. Megan, perhaps let's start with you. We heard the Gauteng MEC, Matome, Chiloane, saying that nobody could have suspected such a shooting, especially at primary school level. I mean, what's your analysis as you watched and listened to the finer details of what actually happened there last Friday?
I mean, this is fortunately something we don't see a lot of in South Africa. Our school violence takes place in different kind of forms, everything from bullying to different forms of violence. But I think the thing that really stood out from what he was saying is that they were concerned about this child prior to this happening. And for me, that's the biggest takeaway here is, what are we doing to help when we're seeing young children in schools and we are worried about them? How do we intervene earlier before we end up with a tragedy or an almost tragedy?
Yeah. Dr. Matakanye, we also heard the MEC talking about how they are now thinking of upskilling teachers to deal with such situations because it's beyond their scope now when a child is troublesome, described as troublesome. A certain level of intervention is needed because there were telltale signs that something was brewing.
Thank you very, very much, Paul, and your viewers as well. I don't think the upskilling of teachers, it will assist us. What will really assist us is the collaboration between the school and the parents. That will work, you know. If we can upskill that, if then upskilling is to bring community nearer to the school, so that as it is said in that statement, that this child quite a long been creating problems. Now, where were the children? I mean, where were the parents?
Yes.
If this is known. And secondly, is that where were the school governing body? Because the school governing body is the government of the school. They formulate policies. If this child creates problem in the school, what does the policy say? Then apply the policy. And we will be saying, we're talking something. You can't wait until how did the boy got into the school with a gun? I mean, how did he? It means, therefore, then we must know that these things happen. These children are staying with us we are doing funny things in front of these children, and children are good copycats. Yeah. And they carry these things to school. And you can't be surprised that this is a 13-year child. He stays with these communities and all those things. You see these things, then you have, as a school, always at the alert of this. And so that these children know that now in this school, this is what is. You must have a climate in the school that they know that now there is no chance of bringing the weapons of war in the school. So if this, and simply means there are a lot of weapons of war, maybe drugs that are sold in the school and even liquor. And had it been not the principal to be shot, we will not know that these children are bringing guns into school. Yeah. So where is the school? Where is the school government? Where are the parents and all those things? So we want to call upon everybody, and particularly this coming elections, that elect parents who will have the interest of the school. Make policies that will work in the school. They must not allow anybody to take their powers away from them. Because in the school, there are good ideas out there. There are good circuit managers out there. There are good directors out there. But some of them, they take these powers of the school government away from them, so that now they make a route towards corruption. Because once the power of the school government has been taken, you must know that there is going to be corruption in the school. And we have, now, you may ask me a question, now I have seen that now this thing does not want to go away. Now we have got tripartite alliance +1. Then ELE, we are going to work with the unions as well. I'm telling you, if the school like this has then we are going to send the investigators to investigate what has caused that. Because this thing does not want to go away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Megan, asn't that the Matakanye speaks about parents? I mean, representing the school governing bodies, parents play a very important part of this, because questions are now being raised about the kind of home this young man comes from, as he's described as troublesome. How do parents deal with a so-called troublesome child? Because now, look what's the result has become of it.
It can be really challenging, because obviously you love your child and you want what's best for them, but when there are behaviors taking place that don't necessarily align with what you have either taught them or else that are socially acceptable, it can feel very difficult to navigate that space and to understand where you maybe went wrong, if you have insight into that. Was it you? Is there other factors that are at play? But as parents, it's really just about communicating and trying to identify this earlier. You know, you have a responsibility as a parent as well to teach your children, to love your children, to show them the right way to live their lives. And if you're doing that and things are still going wrong, to investigate further and to say, is there something underlying going on? Is it a friend thing? Is it a community thing? What is possibly happening? But as parents, to really make sure that we're in tune with the kids and to say, you know, how is school going? If the kid raises that they're struggling at school, what are we doing about it? Rather than letting it lapse. And again, don't know the specifics of the circumstance, but in general, you want to say, you know, if your kid is struggling with homework, is there a reason for this? If they're getting into fights at school, what's the reason for that? And how do we address it? Because the reprimand or the consequence of unacceptable behavior also needs to be considered.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. But thanking you both for weighing in on this very important topic on how to really approach a so-called troublesome child in school. Of course, all of this raising questions on the back of what happened at the school where a principal was shot at in Germiston. It brings us to the end, but let me thank my guest, Matakanye, who is the General Secretary, National Association of School Governing Bodies, as well as Megan Gonsalves, who is a crisis management expert.